What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 30 of the Season Gaming Bitcast, and we have a great show for you today. So join me, as usual, are Bert Sines and Dan Rodriguez. And for the first time joining the show is Jared Eden, a writer for the Tick Games Network. Welcome, Jared.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Very, very good. So we got a lot of big things to talk about today. And instead of beating around the bush, we are just going to jump right into it because I know Dan and Bert are chomping at the bit over here. So Spider-Man is here. It's out. It's good. It's real good. And a lot of people, I think my entire timeline on Twitter is Spider-Man pictures and discussion right now. It's honestly a little bit crazy. I am enjoying it. I am not a big Spider-Man fan nor a big Marvel fan, but I'm still just playing it to have fun. So instead of me rambling on about it, I'll kick it over to Dan, who's, I know Dan and Bert both are huge Spider-Man fans. So Dan, what do you think?
It's awesome. I'm literally looking at it right now.
I can't leave the room without it being on.
Yes, it's right. I was playing it right before I went and joined the podcast. It's amazing. I really am enjoying it quite a bit. The transversal stuff is great. The combat is awesome. I think the only problem so far that I have with it is I know it's eventually going to end, which sucks. But is it my game of the year? No, probably not yet. I still love God of War, but I'm only maybe 26-7% done with it. So, according to my progress, anyway, I don't know where the hell I am in the story. The story's good so far, but I really haven't, like I said, I haven't delved too deep into it because I'm like that damn squirrel on that Up movie. You know what I'm talking about? It's like you'd be going, I gotta go over here and do this mission. Oh wait, there's a backpack.
Oh, that's how I play. I do everything before the missions. I'm on mission 3, and yet I have every backpack and every tower.
Dear Lord, man. What it's like 55 backpacks. I do have every tower. That was something, I kind of watched, the only thing I really watched prior to doing or playing the game was a small video of things that I wish I knew before I played, and I made sure I did all the towers, a couple other things. But it's a great game. Great game. Nice. Loving it.
Bert, you enjoying it just as much?
Yeah, I love it. The only thing that I'm kind of exactly like Dan, I'm kind of worried that it's going to end pretty soon. I'm at 50%, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I'm kind of surprised.
Take a break, man. Take a break.
Yeah, I need to. I'm kind of surprised that a lot of the villains that have been in the trailer haven't made an appearance yet. So what I'm worried is that they're going to throw everybody in at the last minute. One of the biggest criticisms I've seen from the game is that they thought the story was just okay. So far for me, I think the story's been great. And I think that anytime you make a game with this kind of character, with as big as a villain roster that kind of goes with him, it's really hard to do and get a good story in there. The Arkham games kind of did that really, really well, and why I liked it a lot. And if any negatives for me is that this game takes a lot from other games. So like if you look at the towers, it's exactly like Assassin's Creed. A lot of the puzzles and everything are straight out of the Arkham game. And even some of the combat is the exact same button presses as Arkham. So I'm a big Spider-Man fan. He's not my favorite character in Marvel or anything, but I do like the kind of game that can be made here. I think it's fantastic so far. And I'm having a blast with it. I'll wait to reserve exactly like a must-buy type thing or something later, but I think it's living up to the expectations that it has been filled with, which is really hard to do right now. So it's been fantastic so far.
Nice. Jared, I know I didn't think you were the biggest fan. Are you playing it at all?
No, I don't even own it right now. One day, maybe. One day. But I'm not much of a superhero kind of game type of guy. Like I like the Arkham series, but I never actually even finished one of the games. Kind of tapered
the same.
And I just like, another game. And carry on to that one. But yeah, maybe sometime down the road I'll pick it up and give it a play one day.
Nice. Yeah, I'm enjoying it for what it is. I'm not a superhero guy either, but the traversal is really, really fun, just getting around the city. And I'm a collectible guy, so as Dan was joking, like shiny object syndrome in that game. They're between the backpacks and landmarks and everything. I'm just flying all around collecting everything. So it's fun. It's fun. It's really well designed, I will say that. So good job, Insomniac.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is one of the things that the Arkham series did really well is it kind of made you feel like Batman when you played. Well, the Spider-Man game makes you feel like a Spider-Man character, so that they've nailed that perfectly. They've nailed his personality, and it looks great too. So that's pretty much it.
Nice. Yeah, and it looks if you're running PS4 Pro on like 4K TV, the HDR implementation is really good, and I really like the audio implementation too. It's one of the first games I've seen, excuse me, that separates a standard soundbar or home theater from a high-end home theater or studio, which is really, really cool. And yeah, the sound design is really neat. I was actually testing. I was walking around Octavia's office and listening to voice things and just turning around and watching it turn around my room and everything. And it's really well done. So
That's awesome.
yeah, really cool.
Nice.
So anyway, cool. Very glad it's out. I know everyone's pumped. Dan, I still got to get you the damn newspaper from E3. It's only been 3 months. We'll get there eventually. All right. So another big release. I don't think we're going to talk about it too much because I think only Bert and I have it. Bert, you've got 50% on Spider-Man, so I doubt you've even touched it. But Dragon Quest 11 came out as well. It's at like a 91 on Metacritic, Open Critic. So, I mean, it's really up there. Yeah, highly reviewed and regarded. I have played a little bit of it. It's very, very standard Japanese role-playing game fare so far. Cliche, a little over the top, but very well designed. So I'm enjoying it, but I think we'll save that conversation for next time because I don't think we can say enough about it unless, Bert, you have anything meaningful to say about it at the moment.
Wow, meaningful. The one thing that I will say that kind of lines up with your point is that it's very Japanese, very normal. It's the one series that has kind of stayed to its roots. Final Fantasy's gone through different fighting engines, they've gone from turn-based to kind of a mix with turn-based and something else. A few of the other traditional RPGs have kind of tried to change their fighting engine as well. What's the other one? Ni no Kuni tried to do something different recently, but Dragon Quest kind of sticks to it. So if you do like Dragon Quest, if you're a fan of the series, whether it be on the handhelds or the consoles, this is exactly what you're looking for. So it's supposed to be great. You're right. I haven't even started it. It's installed, and that's as far as it's gotten.
All right. And Dan, are you playing it?
I didn't even know it came out. So
that's a no.
No. That's a no. I've never played an actual Dragon Quest game.
Okay. Not even Dragon Warrior way back in our youth?
Gosh. Man, I've slept since then, so I don't remember. So, no clue.
All right. We'll save that one for next time. Like
I played Dragon Age.
Okay, we're moving on. We're different.
Hey.
Different. All right. So funny enough, last time we recorded, we talked about Cyberpunk, and that ended up being the day before they released the gameplay demo. Go figure. So it's been almost 2 weeks, but we haven't actually talked about it. And that is the Cyberpunk 2077, the full gameplay, the whole 48-minute video that they dropped. So I don't even know where to start on this one, guys. Really blown away. Yeah. This is right up there with Halo Infinite. I think I said it may be my most anticipated game over Halo Infinite, which, if you know me, is a really, really bold statement. It looks absolutely stunning. Love the design. When they walked into, what's the city called again? Anyone?
Night City.
Night City, thank you. When they walked into Night City and just kind of walked through it and how populated and bustling it was and just well-formed and just everything, beginning to end, looked absolutely incredible. So what do you guys think? I mean, I know all of us are pretty pumped for it, but who wants to start? Someone take it.
Yeah, I can do that. I talked about this a little bit on Jared's podcast, The Gaming Perspective. And
the week I wasn't there.
The week you weren't there. We talked about it, and I told them basically this could be like if Pong was my alpha, this would be my omega. It'd be like if I was gonna pick a place, and this might be going way too far, but I loved it so much that if there was gonna be an ending to my gaming hobby, this could be it. Because right now it looks so good and better than anything I've seen in my 20, 30 years of gaming, whatever it's been. Gosh, it's been like 35. Okay, so like 35 years of gaming. It just, there's so much to it in a 48-minute little video. You wouldn't think you'd get that kind of reaction from it, but I did. And this is number one for me. bar none. I have no idea when it's coming out. I know they said the game is fully playable now from start to finish. I don't know, how that, what that means exactly, but it just looks amazing. I mean, and it's from CD Projekt Red, which, with The Witcher 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. It's, man, all I know is that it's yeah, there's very rare times where you kind of watch something like that and you're like, okay, that's going to be amazing. And you just know it's going to be amazing. And I trust CD Projekt Red to make an amazing game.
Yeah, it's going to change the industry when it launches.
For sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Jared, what do you think?
I have to agree. I mean, like, I was just thinking back to E3 this year and Gamescom this year as well, where they had all the behind closed doors viewings of them. What other game can you think back along all these past years that literally left every single person who saw that demo speechless, coming out and going, dude, this game is incredible, sort of thing. Like, each person who saw it coming out, they had that sort of expression. You go, okay, when do we actually get to see this? And we finally got to see it. And now we all understand why. It really is that perfect combination of FPS sort of gameplay, gunplay that everybody kind of loves, as well as mixed in with very intricate RPG mechanics that really let you evolve and be immersed with the character and the world around you. What's really impressive to me is everything has a purpose. Everything is meant to be where it's meant to be. Each NPC is meant to be there doing what they're meant to do. Everything is like, it's not that they tried to fill it. They just really worked very hard to make the city alive. Now, I'm very curious as to how big this actual city is. Because we all know with Witcher 3, it's a pretty big world. Night City, it could be maybe even bigger.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said that Cyberpunk is bigger than Witcher 3 already, the map.
And like, it's going to be incredible. Like, I don't know. I don't know how short the playthroughs are going to be like, but like, damn, I'm expecting 150 hours or more at the minimum to do a proper playthrough for that damn game. But when it comes out, like, there can't be any other major releases in like a 2-month time frame of Cyberpunk, because it's not going to sell well.
Yeah, it's one of those games I'm just going to savor every minute of it, because another game like it won't come around for a long time. So
a very long time.
What do you think, Bert? I know we've chatted a lot about this.
Yeah, it's the one thing I'll say that it has nothing to do with Cyberpunk is it's crazy because I felt like we've gone through this already, but the gaming news has just been so nuts this past month that there's been so many things that have happened since it. In watching the trailer, visually, I think I was surprised. I wasn't as amazed visually at the graphics and everything. I think it looks like where we're going to be in 2020 or 2021. The RPG mechanics look very similar to some other games that we've seen before, as far as the conversation bars and stuff. What blew me away was how you can approach situations. So, like, if you're going to attack somebody, if you're going to go in a room full of enemies, all the things that you have to think about before you make your decisions and before you even start the conversation. They really explained it really well in the demo, and they're like, okay, this character can do this, but while they're doing this, they need to think about what happens here. If they do to this person, how will it affect the overall story, and all these types of different situations that you can be put in from a simple, one prompt decision. And then when they got to the actual fighting and gunplay and stuff, I was blown away at the number of things that your character can do with her stuff. So to me, that's what amazed me the most. Like I said, the graphics were cool, but I wasn't like blown away of something that you see a trailer from next gen or something. But it did look beautiful. To me, the colors jumped out, the vibrance of kind of all the palette they were using and stuff. And I do like the art style quite a bit. I didn't know what to expect because of you come from Witcher. It's a whole different era, a whole different type of style. And seeing what CD Projekt Red was going to do next is what kind of amazed me the most. But I think we've kind of talked about, I don't know if it's coming out this generation or if it's going to be one of those shared generation games where it will be available on the PS4 and Xbox One, but it'll run best on the new consoles or something. I have no idea, but it does look amazing. I can't wait for it to come out. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting on that release date. They said they did. I know they confirmed they designed it for Xbox One and PS4 from the beginning, but whether or not it'll still be, obviously it'll be improved on the Pro and X, but whether or not it'll be around that same time frame as next gen, we'll see. I kind of hope so, to be honest. I'd love to run it as high as possible. So
it could be one of those end generation, cross generation titles going from end of the Xbox One, PS4 era to the next gen.
Yeah,
Right,
you never
exactly.
know.
And have like 3 versions basically: base X1,
Yeah.
X1X, and then Xbox
The
Scarlet.
enhanced version for the next generation.
Yeah, one last thing about it that I thought was funny is in watching the Cyberpunk demo, I posted this on Twitter, but I think it's ruined every other game release that's coming out within the next year and a half to 2 years. Because I mean, you have to live up to that, and like it's just like, wow, how do you even come close to that? And if this is coming right around the corner, why do I even waste my time playing this junk of a game, whatever it is that you're excited about in 2019? Because it blew me away on so many different factors. But as Jared was talking about, how long is that game going to take to finish? Crap.
Not long enough, because I'll spend forever on it, I'm sure.
Hey,
Witcher
playthroughs.
Yeah, I mean, Witcher, if you play all the DLC and you almost shoot straight through it, I think you're looking at about 90 hours to about 110 hours. If you spend most of the time, what was it, Ains, like 300?
Oh, yeah, I'm at about 220, 230, and that's on a single playthrough.
Yeah, so you picture a bigger world.
Yeah, I'm about 370, I think, on The Witcher 3. It's insane.
Yeah, and I mean, there's guys I see on Reddit all the time that are over 1,000, all the time. Just because
you guys with Cyberpunk, they're going to do just as expansive of DLC for that game, if not bigger. So you just like, all right, there's my game for the whole year. I don't need to play anything else. It's just my time will be allotted for just this one game for the next 365 days.
Yep. I'm just glad that it and Red Dead Redemption 2 aren't anywhere near each other, because I would have lost my job, I think, honestly. All right, so we've got a lot of big Battle Royale news here. Everyone trying to jump into the market. So let's first touch on, we've got the PUBG 1.0 launch officially we'll touch on. We've got Blackout coming tomorrow as of this recording, which is September 10th, starting for Black Ops. Let's start with Battlefield 5. So the beta's been running for a few days now. Bert and I played it at E3. The beta is actually very similar to what was shown at E3. So I've only played 4 or 5 matches of the beta. I've kind of got my fill of it right now, but I don't know if you guys are big Battlefield fans. I'm personally liking it. It hasn't caught the best reception so far for whatever reason, but running on the X, it's incredible looking, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very intense, typical Battlefield. I like some of the changes they've made. So let's start with Battlefield 5 by itself before we get to the actual Firestorm mode, which is what they're calling Battle Royale. You guys playing the beta?
I've played it, and I'm a huge Battlefield fan for a long time now. It's interesting. I like the changes. I don't like some of the changes as well. Like I like how smooth it is because I have an Xbox One X, I have a 4K TV, I have all that fun stuff. You're correct. Runs smoothly, looks beautiful. The gunplay is smooth, which is kind of nice for once, not gonna lie. I mean, the whole somewhat simulation bullet drop thing is still in effect, but I mean, this time around it feels more like COD in a good way, but also coming from a Battlefield guy, it's to me not good as well, because I don't like, how can I say it properly? COD is a good game to an extent, but I don't like how it's going towards more of an arcadey feel. I still like the old school way that Battlefield games played. So this bit of transition is a little weird for me. And I understand why they're going this way, because they want to be more competitive. They want to be more part of the esports scene, all that fun stuff. But overall, I've been pretty impressed. I think I just have to get used to it.
Yeah, it's with anything else, right?
Yeah, well, they've been saying that it's never going to be the same, right? It's never going to be the same way like it used to be. And okay, yeah, I get it. I can understand why. a little difficult for me, but I think I can get along with the train. And I'm still pretty excited for the game. And I'm very curious to see exactly how this Royale game is going to play out too. That's my biggest one, because if they nail that right, it'll be a good stepping stone, as well as with Call of Duty, their Battle Royale for both of them, for a good look to see what a AAA developer can do for a Battle Royale game. If it can actually work out well, because we've only really seen, indies that have been doing it, other than Epic with Fortnite, but that's Fortnite. Fortnite.
No, we don't want to go down that path.
Yeah, let's not talk about that much. But yeah, I think I'm pretty impressed. I'm really excited to see what the full version of the game can do.
Okay, Dan, I know we talked about squadding up when it comes out. You played the beta at all?
No, I haven't played yet. I've got it downloaded. Didn't like a lot of stuff. Spider-Man. So anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't play a lot of online multiplayer.
Right.
That's how it is. But when I do, like last year or whenever Battlefield 1 came out, that's basically the only one I played with some of my friends. I enjoy Battlefield much more than I do COD. I actually booted it up the other day just to see the new enhancements. They look amazing on Battlefield 1. I'm going to kind of go on this one blind, I think. They moved it back to November, right? On this.
Yeah, November 20th.
Yeah. And as far as the Battle Royale goes, we'll see how that works out. You can know my sweet PUBG skills and my love for that game. So we'll see. I mean, I'm going to get it because I love Battlefield, but we'll see how it comes out.
Okay. What do you think, Bert?
Yeah, so we played it at E3. I had a great time with it at E3. I didn't have much negatives on it as well as other people have. But one of the things that I will say is that if you didn't care for Battlefield 1, you're probably not going to care for Battlefield 5. To me, they're very similar. The art style is identical. I wouldn't be surprised if they're running on the same engine and a lot of the same assets and just new stuff. But I'm kind of with Jared as well. Some of the stuff, it seems like it's being casualized. I'm not sure if that's even a word, but
I agree. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And it's exactly what Jared was saying. I mean, if we think of the Battlefields of yesteryear, there were a lot more hardcore. There was a lot of things. If we look at Bad Company, the destruction was there, and I think that a lot of people find that as some of their favorite stuff, and the DLC from that game was really good. I think they're trying to bring it to more people and have more people into the game, and it's fun. It's just it's not anything revolutionary or anything different in the Battlefield arena that we were kind of either wanting it to go back to the hardcore stuff or kind of change completely. And to me, it's a lot of Battlefield 1. I've said the same stuff about the Call of Duty game this year, but the thing I think is going to save Battlefield is how good Firestorm is. If it's just not very good and they don't, launch it as a AAA developer very well, I think Battlefield is going to suffer this year quite a bit. It might be the Titanfall of this year. And the same thing with Call of Duty, but we'll talk about that next. We haven't really seen a ton of Firestorm yet, not actual real gameplay or a full match or anything like that. So I need to see more on it before I can give positives or negatives about Firestorm. But from the layout and the way I've heard that they're going to do it from the most recent trailer, I think it's called This Is Battlefield. It sounds really cool. It's just, is it implemented properly to where it's fun is what's going to be the hit and miss on it. So other than that, it looks cool. That's all I can say. I've played 4 beta matches, but it's very similar to what we did at E3 already. So I haven't spent, countless hours in it yet.
Yeah, so the quick highlights they've given of Firestorm. We know more about Blackout than we do Firestorm, but it's the biggest Battlefield map ever. It includes all of the Battlefield vehicles that are in the normal gameplay. The full destruction is in the game as well, which I think is what may separate it from, say, PUBG or Blackout is, being able to just take a tank through a building if a squad's hiding in there would be kind of so crazy. Fun. Yeah. But it's, this is a neat one too, is that progression in Firestorm is tied to your company and profile in the game, which is neat too. So if you just play that mode, you can still level up and unlock things. The one thing that's kind of interesting is they said it's 64 players, which is 16 squads of 4, which is kind of, they need to give some more detail there because as you know, PUBG, Fortnite, and Blackout has confirmed to support solo play, duo play, and squad play. So say 2 of us get on to play Firestorm. What is the other 2? Is it going to put us with 2 randoms? They have not confirmed solo or duo play for Firestorm yet. So a
Yeah,
little
and
interested there. But
on that point, Ains, in those battle royale games, each one of those gameplay types, whether it be single, duos, or squad, is a completely different strategy that you're playing in, and each one is kind of fun in itself. So if they're only going to force the squads only of fours, that could be a negative for me personally. So I don't know, unless it's maybe I can be a pilot of a helicopter or something and have enough fun with that if I'm logging in by myself. But
yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need to know more about it. I think you guys kind of nailed everything about my thoughts as well. It does feel a little faster, a little more arcadey than traditional Battlefields. Bad Company 2 is my favorite Battlefield of all time, and I was hoping for a return to that kind of feel, but it doesn't really have it. So we'll see what it is like when it launches. So
yeah.
Moving over to COD, always a huge topic, and the fact that it's Black Ops this year and it's the first time for Battle Royale, obviously Call of Duty players kind of going nuts. So the beta for this actually begins tomorrow, like I said. That's September 10th as of this recording, so by the time you listen to this, it'll probably be out on the PS4 only. Then it starts on the Xbox and PC on the 14th. They all run through the 17th, so just a week to try it out. Few details I'll touch on for Blackout, and then you guys can let me know your thoughts. So this is courtesy of Charlie Intel, which is kind of a big Call of Duty site, and they track everything Call of Duty. So the map is comprised of modified classic Call of Duty maps like Nuketown and others, and then mixed together to create a single gigantic map, basically. This was real interesting. So certain areas of the map will have zombies in them. And not a lot of zombies. They said about 6 to 8 in each locations, but when you kill them, they can drop loot and or weapons, almost like killing another player. They will have unlockable characters to play. So they're going to start with 20 characters at the launch. Most of them you'll have to unlock by doing certain objectives within the mode. So this is kind of interesting as well. Matches in the beta, at least, will be 80 players. They've experimented with 100 and even more than 100, but right now they're trying to nail down what will be the best balance. So 80 players. It will have duo, solo, and squad play, as we mentioned. There are 5 vehicle types at launch with more to be added. One of them is a helicopter, which can carry your whole squad. So that's going to be kind of interesting, too, because we haven't seen that out of Call of Duty before.
Nope.
There is a cargo truck. There's some other vehicles that are like 1 and 2 players, but then there's a cargo truck that can carry your squad plus additional items. So apparently you can pick up extra items and throw it in the truck and take them with you. It is first person only. There's going to be no third person option. So kind of traditional Call of Duty style, but they are not going for a simulation. A lot of people were wondering, when Call of Duty and the time to kills being so short, how would they kind of put that in a battle royale mode when you have a single life? Well, apparently they're just going to go ahead and do it. So you're going to have 150 health, but otherwise, I think time to kill is not going to change a whole lot. It's going to be very fast. So the only other kind of big thing they said is this does not directly impact other modes. So what I kind of am inferring that to read as is that you will not get progression through Blackout that's tied to your profile, which sounds kind of odd to me. I would think that you'd want to do that, because I do not plan on buying Black Ops 4 unless Blackout's really good. And if I do buy it, Blackout would be all I play. So if there's no progression over your whole profile, that would be kind of annoying to me. But those are the big details. We'll get to play it here tomorrow or through the week. So who wants to jump in and comment on these new details if they come out? Bird, you want to start? You're the big Call of Duty guy?
Big Call of Duty guy. Yeah, I have a lot of friends locally that play Call of Duty. So if I want to game with them socially, actually I have 2 friends that they only play Call of Duty. They don't play any other game on anything. So we played Call of Duty at E3. Obviously, Blackout was not available at that time. And I didn't care too much for the multiplayer that was there. The time to kill has been kind of messed around with from past Call of Duties and the standard multiplayer. So I thinking that it's probably going to move over the same. Blackout's the only thing that's kind of reeling me in so far. Out of all the Battle Royale games that have come out in recent time, this one has me the most interested just from the game modes. If you were a previous Call of Duty fan, seeing all these maps kind of come together in one big one is kind of like an homage to the series in general. They're throwing in zombies for fun too, because Call of Duty's been kind of where you get your zombie fix right now in all the versions. So I think it looks really cool so far. We've actually seen gameplay and just the trailer footage on it too, so it looks really nice. I've talked to some friends that are in the industry, and they said that it's running really smooth. And they're also trying to get some of the PC crowd into the Blackout / Call of Duty game this with this version of Call of Duty a lot more than they have in past ones. So we'll see if that sticks or not. The PC crowd's very picky with their FPS games. The other thing that I will say is the first person only of Call of Duty. It's arguably, I think Call of Duty has some of the best gun mechanics that you can have in first person mode. I think they struggle at the long distance stuff because it just becomes way too casual. I mean, there's no bullet drop, there's nothing. So I will kind of reserve comment on that one to see if the long distance stuff, but up close, I think Call of Duty does it the best out of all the AAA shooters. I hope it's good. If not, Call of Duty is going to suffer. Like I said about Battlefield, I don't, despite them having the most pre-orders right now and that being the talk of social media the last month, Call of Duties are always going to sell. I just don't know if it's going to have the legs to go super long like some of the other Black Ops have in the past, because I think Black Ops 2 and 3 are still being played in very high numbers on all consoles today. So that's kind of crazy to me because the Black Ops series is not my favorite in Call of Duty, but it still does very, very well and has a huge following. So just that Blackout's name is going to sell copies.
Yeah, it's another one of those games where it's just going to kind of pass me by, only because. Whoa! Sorry. All right, here we go. It's the last Call of Duty game I really played was Modern Warfare 2. So that tells you about my interest level in Call of Duty. However, it looks like this might be something I try out. I might just pre-order the game and then get that's how you get into the game, I'm assuming, into the beta. And then if I don't like it, I will just cancel my pre-order. That might be what I do. It's worth it.
A lot of people doing that, Dan. You're not alone. A lot of people are doing that.
Cool. And I can get it tomorrow on the PS4, I think. So maybe I'll just do that. No, you know what? No, I won't do that. I know I have issues with my refunds there. Anyway, but it looks good. It looks good. I'm not going to take away. I'm for any fans of Call of Duty that love this kind of stuff. Great. But for me, it's just kind of not my thing. So,
no worries. I know you said you weren't the biggest Call of Duty fan either, Jared. Are you going to be trying Blackout?
I'm curious about it. It does look good. My interest level has been peaked since they launched that one trailer, but a lot of people don't know. I actually used to play a lot of Call of Duty back in the day. Like I used to be heavy competitive, top 10. My squad was top 10 on Frag Nations on their ladders for 4-player squads, as well as on MLG.net. Played a lot of it, Call of Duty 4, Black Ops, Call of Duty World at War. But I stopped playing after Black Ops. I didn't like how it was just kind of sticking to the same formula, but also trying to be different at the same time, and it wasn't working. Completely lost interest. Now, if I was to pick up Call of Duty again, it might only be just because of Blackout. I think if they can do it right, it could be a big hit for them and a bigger hit than their actual regular multiplayer, because right now, Battle Royale is huge. Everybody's getting in on the Battle Royale. Everybody. Just like Battlefield as well. So between Battlefield 5 and Call of Duty, if either one of them, if they nail the Battle Royale just right, I think they could make a really good step towards other developers wanting to make Battle Royale games in a AAA environment. And I think Call of Duty might do that better than Battlefield 5, in my eyes, if they do it right. What they have,
from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, like I'm a big Battlefield fan. I like the destruction and I like everything that they're doing, but at the same time, I don't know. It seems like Call of Duty might have a more competitive edge than the Battlefield 5 does for how they're designing it. But we'll see. We'll see how it happens, because like Bert was saying, if they don't do it right, they're not going to do well. They're not going to do well at all.
Yeah.
One quick thing I'll mention, Ains, is we've been talking about the Call of Duty recipe that they're going to kind of go for Battle Royale here. It's important to keep in mind that big games like even Fortnite, which was never actually designed to be a Battle Royale game, or PUBG, that has been in preview mode for the past year and didn't launch even smooth on PC. I mean, it's not the best efficient running system. So I wonder if Call of Duty will launch, they'll get their feedback, and then they're going to continually tune it, and it might be the the battle royale game to play come summer or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if they're going to launch a perfect launch at the beginning, because you got to keep in mind the battle royale mode was added as a secondary feature to the Call of Duty game. They had to scrap their campaign. They focused so much on multiplayer, and multiplayer has been received very 50-50. Some people are like, what is this? And then other people are like, I love it. So I don't know. It's their development cycle this time was a very rushed and very rough one. So I'm curious to see how it actually plays.
Yeah. And just before we move on to PUBG real quick, you mentioned that Call of Duty, up close gun mechanics does it the best. I think you forgot Halo, but we'll go ahead and move on. So
Halo's in a whole different category, though. I mean,
course
it's not
it's it's Call of Duty, Halo.
Yeah, you can't compare to Halo. Yeah.
So
way up there.
All right, so moving on. We'll get to Forsaken for you. Don't worry. Real quick, we don't have to touch on this much, but PUBG 1.0 did launch on Xbox. Includes Sanhok, the third map, includes the event pass, a bunch of cosmetics, a new crate system, some more improvements to the smoothness of the game, et cetera, et cetera. We've been talking about it for a while. So not a whole lot to add here. Bert and I have been playing it a lot because we play a lot of PUBG. I really enjoy it. The improvements have made the game a lot better. It's pretty smooth now. It's still not a locked frame rate, but it's getting there. Sanhok itself as a map is fantastic. I think the smaller size, in addition to the trees and rocks and just the layout of the map, is really, really well done. So we've been having a ball with it. And the event pass is what it is. If you want to support the game, support it. But they added missions and everything else, so it's pretty fun. Really enjoying that. I don't know if anyone needs to touch on 1.0. Nope. Moving on. All right, so a couple industry updates, which I figure we could touch on. So first up, and I don't know if any of you guys can speak to this more because I didn't play it, but THQ Nordic has acquired Kingdoms of Amalur, the IP, along with some other assets from Studio 38. So I know Kingdoms of Amalur was kind of that cult classic title. The people who did play it seem to have loved it, but it wasn't a huge hit. I have not played it, so I can't comment on this, but I did see a lot of people on my timeline and across social media in the gaming industry, really surprised and kind of excited about this, that this game could be coming back. So any of you got experience with this one that can talk to it?
Oh, yeah. Yep. this game, you know what it is?
We pulled Dan's cord. Do it, Dan. Do it.
Hold on. All right. When I first played it, it came out and didn't get a whole lot of critical, reception. I think Kurt Schilling, this was his company. This is the one that, yeah, right. So I was like, okay, this has got to be trash. It was one of the most fun games I've ever played. It's just fun. You know what it reminded me of a little bit of, like, Fable, and I don't know what else, but it was just really, really fun. I love the art style in it. It's been so long since I played it, man. So it's kind of hard to remember every little thing, but God, it was fun. I played through it a couple times and I really, really enjoyed every playthrough. I mean, I understand why it's a cult classic. It's nothing, where it's, groundbreaking and, but it was just a fun game. And you can't really say that a lot anymore about, games in general. It's just, it just had that intangible, something. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I would love them to put that backwards compatible today, right now.
That would be pretty cool. Bert, you were, I saw you motioning as well.
Yeah, I was a massive fan. Funny enough, I didn't finish it, but I actually still own it. I'm with Dan. I'm hoping that they make that backwards compatible, taking the full drama out of the 38 studios. They had tons of it outside of game development. But one cool thing about this game is Todd McFarlane did all the art for the game. So he did all the art direction. And then they had a really good writer. I can't remember he had initials, but his last name was Salvatore or something like that, or Salvatore. I don't know how he pronounces it, but he's a massive writer in the video game world. He did a ton of stuff for EverQuest, and I think he did some other things as well. So it was written really well. And the game's got a ton of lore that has had people just, clamoring for a sequel for it to continue, because it leaves it with a bit of a cliffhanger from what I understand. Like I said, I never finished it, but one of the best games of that generation. It was just a very crowded genre when it was releasing. There was all kinds of stuff coming out with Dragon Age and Mass Effect and all those things. It was just too crowded, and it didn't have the marketing to kind of lift it above the others. But it was reviewed very, very well.
Great. I have nothing more to add, Jared. It doesn't look like you do either. So,
Nope.
but that's it's good news. You know, THQ Nordic seems to be picking up some of these IPs, like we were talking about Time Splitters on our last one. You know, so these are fan favorite, beloved franchises that guys like us who are now in their 30s, 40s, who grew up playing 10, 15, 20 years ago, really love. So if they bring these back and do it well, I think they're making a real smart move here financially. So,
oh, definitely. I mean, like that. Well, what else are they going to do with these? They're going to buy them and hold on to them and never make another game again? No way. Something's going to be made.
Yep. Just hope it's good.
Yep.
So one of the other cool things, obviously all big Witcher fans, we've talked about a lot. Henry Cavill, Superman himself, is going to be playing Geralt in the Witcher Netflix series, which is a big budget series. I've followed this very closely from the beginning because the person who is casting and doing a lot of writing for the series, they are deep into Witcher lore. They're following the books. They're really going deep on making sure this is going to live up to the Witcher name for fans of the franchise. So this was really interesting. A lot of people I saw when they saw this, they're like, oh, they're just getting a big name to play Geralt. Doesn't know anything about the games. You couldn't be more wrong. Cavill is a huge gamer. He is a huge fan of the Witcher series. He's apparently played all of them multiple times and talks about it as actually pining to get this role. If you weren't aware, there's a funny story about him. When he first got the call to play Superman, he was actually raiding in World of Warcraft and didn't take the call from is it Bryan Singer, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah, so he ignored the call because he was in the middle of a raid. So
That's my man.
Henry is a big gamer. I think he will play this role very, very well. And people are already kind of photoshopping him with white hair and the beard and the scars and everything else. But this is really big news. I'm so pumped. Between this and the Halo show coming to Showtime, man. Oh my God, I hope they do them right. So,
did you say Bryan Singer?
I said Singer. Relax.
Zack Snyder, Bryan Singer made the other one that was.
There you go. Maybe it was Zack Snyder. I'm thinking of. But anyway.
Yep. I have more to say than just that. Sorry. I think it's actually a pretty good fit. It's good to have someone that knows the source material that can try to do him. I was trying to picture him as Geralt to begin with, and I don't see it yet. The Photoshops look pretty good, but I think he's too young, unless they're going to where in the Witcher, timeline we're looking at. Maybe he's trying to be a younger one, but if they could do some special effects there, put the cat eyes in there, I'm down. Have you guys heard the social media frenzy going on right now about Siri?
Yeah.
Okay. We don't need to talk about it. I just thought it was kind of funny because I hope that doesn't mean that some of the lore will get ruined in the game or whatever.
I don't think so because, like I said, the team that's putting this together is really deep into it. So I think they're going to do it justice. But it's social media, right? People are going to panic before we have even the real information. So
well, it's funny because Witcher is so much more than a video game now. I mean, the books are there, the music, it's so much more than that. So we'll see what happens. I hope they do it well. I can't wait for this to see a real life Geralt and Ciri and Yennefer and everybody coming to life. So,
I think you meant Triss. I went with Yennefer. Thank you. Okay,
bye.
The only other thing is they did confirm it's coming next year, so 2019.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I guess my only issue with the show is, with Henry Cavill. Same with mindset as Bert is like I think he's might be doing a young role because I don't see him playing as an old Geralt, and it's not just that, but his voice is so unique in the games. And hearing someone else without that voice, it's such a unique characteristic about to me, it's very unique to the character, and I think that really how can I properly put it? That it really helps you. It helps the character stick out to you, and I just that voice. You gotta just have something along the lines of that voice, and I don't think he can do it.
It's almost like people are already asking for the Halo show. Steve Downes is going to be the voice of Master Chief because they're like, if it's not, forget the show right now. Like,
There's a lot of characters like that.
Yeah, you're just gonna sit there. You're gonna watch when it comes out on Netflix. You're gonna sit there. You're gonna watch it, and you're like, it's good, but the voices, it's going to happen to everybody, especially if you're a big fan of the game. You're like, I just can't get past the voices of the characters, but you're going to have to get used to it if you want to like the show.
Damn it, you're bringing me down, Jared. You're bringing me down.
We should do a fun thing of like who we would like the cast to be, like Vesemir and stuff like that. I have some ideas for Vesemir, but I don't know. I there's
Mark Hamill.
Mark
I'm done.
I nominate Dan Rodriguez to be Vesemir.
Mark Hamill's like 5'4" on a
Okay.
so
Okay, give him some stilts.
no, but like other characters, Sam Fisher, it's got to be
Michael Ironside.
Yeah, it's got to be. You can't put someone else in there. They did that in a game, and we saw what happened. So,
yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
All right, last industry thing here, and I don't want to get hung up on this because it's just nonsense we've talked about, but it's kind of funny to see. Sony CEO himself, Kenichiro Yoshida, came out and said the reason we don't allow crossplay is because we personally believe that PlayStation 4 is the best place to play the game. Along with a couple other quotes, but this just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't want to get hung up on it, but it's like that's just coming out and straight. It's that arrogant Sony that we used to see in the PlayStation 2 days, kind of re-emerging, and nowadays it just feels so off-putting with the way that the industry is. Everyone's playing together. Every company's highly profitable. Forget your console sales and whatnot. Every company in here is making billions, and just like enjoy it, play together, enjoy the games together. Stop with the nonsense. And the fact that Sony's CEO himself came out and said this, it's like perpetuating that just nonsense war. And I don't know, it was stupid to me.
They're taking a page out of the Nintendo book.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's bad when Nintendo, as archaic as they are, is allowing crossplay, you know what I mean, and playing with Xbox and everything else. But Nintendo has their own problems, yeah. But I don't know if you guys want to comment on this or not. I just found it kind of weird that he said it. That's all.
I'm not surprised, but that's all I really want to say is just not surprised.
I mean, just don't be a dick, man. Basically, what this boils down to is that and be honest. I mean, listen, you don't want somebody to play over there because you are the leader on the market. It would take away maybe some of your profits somewhere. It's about money.
Always.
That's what it's about. Always about money. And that's fine. And I have no problem with it. If you don't want to do it, whatever. Don't give a shit. I got both systems. I can do whatever I want. So just don't lie about it and don't be a dick. That's basically, it's just a good rule of life, actually.
They made a PlayStation Fortnite bundle, man. Like, they want the money. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, that's cool. Just stop. Stop it.
Stop it. He hit him on the knuckles with a ruler. Stop it.
Yoshida, stop.
And throw a punch. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about new releases and what we're currently playing. So I'll run through these, Jared. If you're not familiar, I'll run through the new releases, their scores on OpenCritic, who we're on, and we support more than Metacritic. So Spider-Man launched at an 88, like we said, being reviewed really well, getting a lot of positive feedback. Dragon Quest XI's running at a 90, even better. It's one of the highest rated games in a while, actually. Forsaken, which Jared will let you touch on here in a moment, is that expansion was rated individually. It's running an 83, so pretty good score as well. Divinity Original Sin 2, a 91. I know it was the game of the year for some people last year on PC. Dan, I know you said you were enjoying the hell out of it, so we'll touch on that. And then on the Switch side, I know they were excited about this one, is Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. That's way too long of a title. This one is just a rehash of, what have you, a port. I don't know the word you want to use, what Switch is getting a lot of, it seems. But this is running a 79, and this is kind of an enhanced port from the old 3DS game. So, but I know some Monster Hunter fans, diehard fans, actually like this one better than World, because apparently it's more hardcore. So I don't know. But so Dan, let's kick off with you. Other than we've touched on Spider-Man, of course, what else are you playing right now?
So I've been playing a little bit of Owlboy.
Owlboy, I actually wanted to try that. Any good?
It's all right. It's one of those games in my backlog, so I'm trying to knock it out. The problem is I started it and then I got maybe 2 or 3 hours in and then I forgot how to do everything. So when I went back to play it, I need to start over and remember everything. I mean, it's okay. It's no dual thumbs shooter, but it's pretty good. And then playing Madden, of course, got a little Madden League going on.
What's your record?
I am 2-1. I think we're in week 4. I haven't done my game yet, but
Okay.
2-1. Let's see. It's some guys from Twitter, Doc and his brother and stuff, and that's just kind of a side thing that I do just for fun. Cool. And then Divinity Original Sin 2, been playing that. It's awesome. It's so much, but now that Spider-Man's out, I got to kind of push that to the side, which kind of scares me because I was just getting used to how the whole system worked and everything, and I'm gonna have to start that son of a bitch over.
You're gonna go back to it and not know anything.
It's so much to learn.
Yeah, there's certain games you got to do that for.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, RPGs like that, deep RPGs. It's like if you go away from them and come back, you're done. Just start over.
Yeah. You just got to start over.
It's really fun though. I mean, I think you'd enjoy it, Ains, but it's definitely I never played the first one. I played a little bit of that one on the PC with my buddy, but I never really got too far. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna launch into it, see what happens. And it plays like a D&D game, like an old school,
pen and paper RPG.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I love those games. If I was a kid, I'd be playing it now. I just don't have the time.
Yeah,
just don't have the time.
It's a huge time sink. So yeah, for sure.
Very cool, Jared. What do you got going on? You want to talk about Forsaken a little bit?
Yeah, I'll talk about Forsaken a little bit because that's really all I've been playing since it came out. That and I played a little bit of Immortal Unchained, which I can touch on that too a little bit if you guys really want.
Yeah, do it.
I guess I'll start off with the Immortal Unchained because I've only put a few hours into it, and there's not really too much to talk about other than it's definitely a Souls-like game. Of course, all games like that, they take a little bit of the original Souls-like formula and do their own spin on it, all that sort of fun stuff. So you got a currency called bits, which you get from enemies that drop, which is basically like, what Souls were in Dark Souls sort of thing. So if you die, you lose them. The gunplay mechanics are a little interesting. I don't think it's the right way to go with this sort of formula, but I haven't gotten far enough to really make a proper opinion for it just yet. Some things they do kind of nice. The biggest takeaway I got from it, though, is that it plays a lot like The Surge, if you guys have ever played that.
Yeah, we talked about that. I've played quite a bit of it.
It plays a lot like The Surge, so me also coming from playing The Surge and being actually a fan of the game, I kind of got used to the controls a little bit. The dodging sucks. I hate it because that's a huge aspect of the game, and there's an actual skill that increases your dodge skill chance, I think. I don't know what it is. But yeah, there's some things it's good on, some things it's bad. I'd say I'm about 50-50 on it right now, but of course I need to play more to really get a proper evaluation for it.
So how much was it? Is it an indie game or like a AA game?
I'd say a AA game. It was a $50 Canadian title. Yeah, Canadian dollar title. Yeah, $50.
Okay. All right. So probably so let's talk about Forsaken. I'm gonna have to put a time limit on you, I think.
Okay. Okay, I'll try to cut you down as best as I can. So this Forsaken expansion is giving you 20 levels instead of the usual 10 for their expansions and whatnot. Okay. To grind through and increase, they went from a power level 400 to 600 max.
So is that level
plateau right now?
Sorry, trying to remember my Destiny. So original was level 20. Now it's level 40. You can get to.
No, it's right? Level 50 actually, because before the Forsaken, they bumped up the cap to level 30.
Okay, so
and now they went straight to level 50. Yeah, so you got
600 light level. Okay, so there's a lot of grinding to do.
Lots of grinding, lots of gameplay, and this has the most cinematics that they've had ever for an expansion, easily. The story is very good. It puts a very grim atmosphere on the game overall. It doesn't feel like the usual Destiny game that you have always played, which I like. It's not very different, but it gives just enough difference to really kind of make you go, ooh, this is nice. This is really, I'm really interested because I want to see where it all goes, sort of thing. And for example, I'm done all the main story missions, all the quests and stuff like that, but I'm still doing things that link to that main story all right throughout the end game, and I'm still just at the very beginning of the end game right now. For total content wise, I will say it's the same amount as the base game of Destiny 2 plus Osiris and Warmind all put together. So you got lots to do. Lots to do. So I've been very impressed.
Worth the $40 for sure?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
I have 2 questions for Jared, and then I'll talk about my game, Zanes.
Go for it.
First thing on the Destiny front, Jared. If you have the base game or you have received the base game for free at Best Buy or have done the download, is that now pretty much worthless?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, not going to lie. It is, yeah.
Okay. Second question. Why didn't Destiny 2 just do all that from the start?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, man. Like I'm a huge Destiny fan. I've been playing. I have 48 days worth of playtime in the first one. And like I just go, I'd like the first one. They're going in the right direction, but they really need to nail the content down on these games because this is what did it for me. This is great. I love it.
See, that's where I get confused. And I think Bert's going to say the same thing is Destiny 1 I played the hell out of Destiny 1 when it launched. I had a couple hundred hours, and then Taken King came out and seemed to correct all the wrongs, right? That's where all the fans really got it right. And they're like, all right, they're going to take all these learnings and put it into Destiny 2. And then Destiny 2 came out and everyone's like, well, they fucked everything up again. It's like, well, what the hell are they doing over there?
Yeah.
It's Taken King ×2 for Forsaken.
Yeah, I was about to say, it seems like it's just a copy of what they did with 1, and now is the time to come to Destiny 2 because I was really let down with the launch of Destiny 2. I didn't actually sold it after.
You need both.
Yeah.
I think I played for a couple of weeks, got near the end, sort of end stuff, being able to raid and stop playing. And I didn't play much of Osiris. I barely played Warmind near the end of that expansion, and then now it's Forsaken. And
they won you. They won you back over.
Yeah, they won me back over.
All right. Well, very good. At least we have someone who can speak to it because I know I haven't played it. We usually just kind of breeze over it because we don't have enough experience to speak to the newer content. So thank you very much.
No problem.
Bert, what you got other than Spider-Man here?
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man is the biggest mistake I've made in the past week because everything else I've been working on got pushed aside, which brings me to the main game that I wanted to talk about, and it's Nier Automata. So this is the 4th time I've tried to start and get through this game. Literally the 4th time. This time I made it to 7 hours. Last time was 6 hours, and now Spider-Man came out, and it doesn't ruin Nier Automata for me because now the controls are different. It's a third-person game. I hope I can finish that game up because I'm trying to find what everybody loves so much about it, and I don't have anything against it. I just don't see the draw. To me, it's a good game. It's not a great game. Also working on F1 2018. I'm a big F1 fan, was waiting for this game to come out. I'm ready almost through the end of the first season in the game. I really enjoy it. If you like F1 games, this is the one to play. And then we do a lot of social stuff on Pub and NHL. So we've got to play the beta of NHL. Was it last weekend's 2 weeks ago?
A couple weeks ago. Yeah.
And now the game has come out for early access, and I think it comes out this week. So very excited with that one. We're having a blast, at the same time getting angry sometimes with that game.
Yeah, that's NHL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add here, guys. You kind of touched on everything. We touched on Spider-Man. I'm doing the same thing. I did start Dragon Quest XI. We'll talk more about that next time. Hopefully have some more time into it to be able to talk more intelligently. Playing the hell out of Pub, usually with Bert, and now with NHL 19 in early access. I have created our EASHL team, as I do every year, playing around with the jerseys, unlocking stuff. It's really, really good. It's probably the best place NHL has been in many years. So
Tickle time.
Yes, our play-by-play and team name in NHL is Tickle Time. So, that's what we like to be named. But which is about all we do to our opponents, really, because we lose a lot. But other than that, it's a lot of fun with a little anger mixed in. So if you've been holding off on NHL, you used to be a fan and haven't played it in a while, this is the one to get. It's well done. So let's head over to our main topic today. So we're going to talk a few minutes about each of us about a franchise, and we've each picked one that is no longer being made that we want to see return. And there's some obvious ones here. We tried to get a little more obscure, I think, looking at our entries than the big obvious ones. And there's a lot of franchises that we've talked about that are coming back already. but we've got some good ones to go through. I don't know who to start with here. Dan, you want to start with your pick and just kind of tell us? Obviously, I think we've talked about why we all love this one, but
yeah.
why you want
I mean, it's hard to I can sit here and repeat myself, but BioShock is arguably my favorite game of all time. It is, from what I understand, there's nothing right now that's in the works. I wish there was. As much as I hate Kevin Levine or whatever his name is, I think he's a pompous piece of shit.
Ken Levine.
Ken Levine. Yeah, he's a dick, but he's very full of himself. I'm not a huge fan of that dude, but the guy can make a game, and I'll give him that much. But he's just one of those. It's just one of those. I would like him to get back on the ship, because obviously there's a huge amount, based on just the ending of Infinite. Basically limitless amounts of stories you could tell.
You could almost say infinite.
It's infinite amount of stories. Son of a bitch. That's clever.
Right there. You're right there.
Right in front of you.
Close.
Right. Damn it. Lost that one. All right. But anyway, yeah, I would love to see that come back. It's maybe even wait till like the next gen comes out and just like say, hey, guess what we've been working on, and just surprise the hell out of me. I don't think it's gonna happen. And if they pull some kind of BioShock 2 crap, then just keep it. I don't want to see it. Shit.
Hey, I like BioShock 2. Relax.
Shut up.
It's okay. I mean, first one's the best, then it's the third, then it's the second.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's actually a fact. But
it is. It is
Cannot-
serviceable.
Dan, there's rumors that they are working on one. I mean, they're obviously nothing else, but there's rumors.
yeah, I don't see 2K sitting on BioShock without
No
making.
way.
Like, come on, it's too big, guys.
Now I know I've heard of like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, just recently, but I haven't heard of the BioShock one, which is awesome. We will see if that happens. If Kevin Levine is not attached.
Ken Levine.
I'm saying Levine.
Just to annoy him. He's a big listener.
Yeah. What, really? What? Oh, well, shit. Fuck him. And please come back and make BioShock. Thanks.
I don't know if you want to say fuck the guy who made your favorite game of all time. That seems at odds somehow, I think. But anyway.
He's passionate.
It's a passion, and
I think we lost Bert in the meantime here. We tend to lose Bert every once in a while. All right. Jared, bring us back around to some normality here.
I can try. I guess for me, it'd be the original classic RTS Warcraft. They made 1, 2, and 3, and then they made World of Warcraft, and they've been running with that ever since. Now, with all the things that they can do now with their team, their massive team and financial backing, please just grace us with one RTS, not just on PC though, on consoles too, because they did it with StarCraft on the N64. I know that they did, so you can do it. But I'd love to see maybe a Warcraft 4 or even a full official reboot of the Warcraft RTS series completely, and like do remaster of 1, 2, and 3 complete collection edition bundle, toss it out and be able to play it on any platform that you want, and just I love it. I have so many memories growing up as a kid, going from StarCraft and then the original Warcraft, Warcraft 2, and Warcraft 3, and doing just hours and hours and weeks and weeks and weeks of just random skirmishes, just playing Warcraft. I loved that game. Just loved it.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre with as big as World of Warcraft is, just that world that they haven't come back to this. They obviously have the resources. I don't know what's holding them back. I know the RTS genre is not, as big as maybe it once was. I don't really know, but I mean, there's plenty of games in it that are successful. So I don't know.
How about that Warcraft movie, huh?
We need number two. I liked it. I loved it.
It actually wasn't too bad.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Yeah, it's kind of like Tomb Raider. It was like I was indifferent on it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. Like I'm waiting for that great comic book movie anyway,
Oh,
or
no.
video game movie. Anyway. All right, Bert, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so mine would be Fear Effect. This was out during the PlayStation 1 era. Came out, I believe, in 99 or 2000. I can't remember, but it was right around the time that the first Deus Ex came out and also System Shock. So it had kind of that noir vibe thing going on. It took place in Hong Kong, and it was kind of a cel-shaded game. It was during the time that PlayStation had all their pre-rendered backgrounds going on, and it was just a really cool game. And then I think a year later they released a prequel, and was obviously what happened before the first game with the same characters. And then there was rumors that they were going to reboot it. It never came out. And then last August of 2017, they talked about a remake of the first game. I actually don't want to well, I wouldn't mind a remake, but I would like a continuation to the first game in today's technologies, engines, and consoles. I just think would be beautiful and run just amazing. I'm showing the trailer stuff right now for it, so take a look at it. I like it a lot. It would be a very cool game in today's age.
I remember it, but I don't think I ever played it. If I did, it might have been for a short period. But I mean, we are talking a horror game here, right? Did it?
No, it wasn't very much horror. It was more of like spies and mission stuff. It had the tank controls, kind of like the Resident Evil type game. It was cel shaded. I'll send you the link.
No, I definitely didn't play it. That doesn't even ring a bell.
It was when all that Resident Evil, Dino Crisis, all those games were coming out. So they kind of try to fit into there. And it was, I think it was developed or at least published by Eidos, which was an awesome developer back in the day. Yeah,
they really were. Parasite Eve is another classic from that era too, right?
Amazing game. Yeah. Vagrant Story.
Vagrant Story. There's a lot, man. PS1, Jesus, so many games. Crazy. All right, so mine I've talked about before. It's more definitely on the cartoony side compared to these other ones, but Banjo-Kazooie is mine. How Microsoft owns this goddamn IP, and we haven't seen a new game yet. Banjo 3, I mean, the name already writes itself. Just make it. Between this and Conquer, like, how have you not made these games? They have so many fans. You don't even need a big budget team to do it. Just put a small developer on it like they're doing with Battletoads, right? They're finally announced they're bringing that back. Just do the same thing with Banjo. I mean, Ukulele, it wasn't fantastic, but it was good, and it was a good throwback to Banjo 1 and 2. They made that with a real small team through Kickstarter. Like, Mike, you're telling me Microsoft can't make a Banjo game? Come on. Killing me, Phil. And Phil's a big listener, too, so I hope he's listening to this episode.
Don't start.
Anyway, Banjo, I still consider, and I'll take this argument any day, but the original Banjo is better than Mario 64. It took that formula and improved upon it. Banjo Tooie was really good. I think I'm not far off by saying the Banjo kind of fans like me think part 1 was better than 2. And Nuts and Bolts was something a little different. It was a good game, but not in the same vein. So for God's sake, just give us a proper 3 and I can be happy. So I don't know.
Rare.
Go ahead, Jared.
I was going to say Rare. They are working on Sea of Thieves, but they got something else that they need to make afterwards. So
and they're hiring they're hiring tons of people for Sea of Thieves. Just hire 10 people. Let them make Banjo 3. Come on.
Well, they're separating the studio into 3 teams, one for each major expansion now.
Right. Exactly.
It's like it's a little insane. Okay, if you can do 3 teams, just do a small 4th team on the side.
Put in some unused cubicles in the corner. Just let them make it.
Go. Yeah, just dust off a little bit, Go.
What were you gonna say, Bert?
No, I was just gonna say that I think a lot of people associate Banjo-Kazooie with just Nuts and Bolts. They don't go back further into what launched him and what he's about.
What a damn shame.
It is. Nuts and Bolts actually was a pretty good game. It just wasn't Banjo-Kazooie. It'd be like throwing Mario with the shopping cart or whatever those things were that you roll with.
I played those games on the N64.
I was going to say, you tell me they haven't done that? Mario's done everything.
Yeah. He did have a water tank on his back at one time and started shooting slime.
No, that's ridiculous. They would never make that. All right, I think that closes us out for the main topic. And today, because we had 4 people, we've talked a little longer on some other things. We're going to just move on and close out here rather than doing our season reflections or collectibles like we normally do. A few things that we've done recently you need to check out. So Bert did unboxings of both the Spider-Man and the Dragon Quest XI collector's editions. They are up on our
God damn
That caught me off guard, Jared. Those are up on our YouTube channel now. They're very good. I highly recommend them. So, especially considering both of those are really sought after and sold out. So, if you're wondering what come in those, check those out. I had been talking about it for a while. Last weekend for my 40th birthday, I did. Oh, there's the Spider-Man statue. You have to speak, Bert. I don't know if that's going to come up.
Yeah, here it is. It's actually fantastic. If you like Spider-Man, Dan, I think you're a massive Spider-Man fan. I'm not going to show too much of this because it ruins some spoiler stuff, but it's awesome. Okay, it's amazing.
Yeah, it looks really high quality, right? It's smaller, but it looks painted like really well, which is neat. So I did finally, I've been talking about for a while. I did my Cuphead stream last week to finish the game on Expert, which was the last achievement I needed to 100% it. I did that for Extra Life last week. It took me over 5 hours straight of streaming. I know Bert and Dan, you guys were tuned in for a while. I was banging my head against the wall a few times, but I got through it. I did it 100% on Cuphead, and I raised another like $140 on the year, which takes me to almost $650, and I'm trying to get to $1,000 for the year. So I'll have to figure out some other games I can stream later this year. But
masochist is what you are, sir.
Yeah, I gotta find another game that's really hard that'll pull some people in. I'll take it on. So,
I'll tell you what, I watched most of that thing, and it was insane. I mean, I was just like, why do people play this game? I mean, I know it's awesome, but why would you do that to yourself?
Here's the funniest story. So I was, first of all, this camera that I'm using, when you plug it in the Xbox One, it doesn't use the mic. And I was using a 2D Mortal Kombat X fighting pad because I prefer a D-pad on tough 2D games, but it doesn't have a mic port. And so I hooked this camera up. I got all set up, and you couldn't hear me. I couldn't speak. I'm like, oh, crap. So then I actually had to rearrange my whole room and use Kinect to stream because I could use the chat as well then while I was using that. But I was holding so tight on this 2D pad for 5.5 hours straight almost, like this for like 5.5 hours. For 2 days afterwards, my left forearm, you couldn't touch it. It hurt so bad. Like Patricia, my wife, would put her hand on my arm. I'd be like, oh shit, like leave my arm alone. It hurts. Yeah. So I injured myself. I'm actually suing Studio HDMR right now. So
also big listeners to the show.
Yeah.
Also big listeners.
If you use the Elite controller and you use the D-pad that is the I don't even know what you call that one, the round one, not the actual legit
disc one, yeah.
Yeah, it works really well with Cuphead. And what I do is I take the joysticks off and then just use the D-pad, and with it works really good. So
no, it's amateur stuff.
Hold on, wait a minute. Like when I played it, I just mapped like the shooting button to one of the paddles, and I just held that thing down the whole time.
Well,
I have to worry about it. That's cheating? Yes.
That's what I do on the MK pad. So I have the D-pad, and then my left bumper is shooting, so I just hold like that the whole time, and then jump. And it has real big face buttons for like jumping and dashing. So but I had something like I don't stream much, so the numbers aren't impressive if you're a big streamer. But I mean, I never stream. But I had something like 130 unique people that tuned in. Met a whole bunch of new people, got some new followers. We're chatting with people, so it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
That's one of the best achievements I have. I think when it popped, it was like 0.52% or something. It, like hardly anyone has it. So anyway, Dan, where can we find you?
You can find me right here on SG Bitcast.
Anything else going on?
No, I'm on the not right now. I got some Spider-Man to play.
All right. Yeah, I think we got to let everyone go. Jared's got to get to Forsaken, and these guys got to get to Spider-Man. Jared, where can we find you regularly, man?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at @RageRage_X or over at TechGamesNetwork.com for news, reviews, opinion pieces, and all sorts of fun stuff.
Very nice, man. And it's been a pleasure having you on. Hope to do it again in the future. We'll collaborate on some more stuff for sure.
Definitely.
So, Bert, anything else you want to promote other than your videos?
I got some more videos coming. We're starting a new series. What's so funny?
Got more videos on top of your videos. Videos.
So we have a new series that we're starting, and it's when you're on the hunt for something like on eBay or Craigslist or even your Facebook Marketplace or whatever, and you're kind of hunting it down. You get it, and then what are you going to do with it after you got it? Does it work? Everything like that. So we did that with the PSP Slim from start to finish, and we kind of chronicle the whole experience of doing something like that. So we'll see if that takes off, if you guys enjoy it. And then some other headache of take aparts of controller stuff for the PlayStation 4 controller, because that battery is horrible on the PlayStation 4. So we have upgraded that controller. It's running nicely, but we have the complete teardown of it coming up probably in the next 48 hours or so.
Nice. Very nice. All right, that'll close us out. So thank you everyone for listening, watching. As always, really appreciate it, and stay tuned to Season Gaming.